He's one of two people in history to have a resume that looks like this. The other joins us now. Diana Taurasi joins the show. And Diana, I'm putting you in a kind of an uncomfortable spot because, I mean, I'm talking about you in the same breath as Jordan. I'm saying you and he are the only two people that have that kind of resume. I don't know if you knew that, but when you hear it, what goes through your head?
I mean, just reading all those things that he's accomplished, we're just lucky we got to watch him play in his prime. That's when I'm watching these documentaries and, all these behind the scene footage. I'm just so happy I got to see him play, and I got to appreciate him just for a basketball player. When I was young and I was, loving the game, and he came at a time where all you knew about him was he was the best basketball player in the world. And that to me has been the best thing about this thing.
Who was your guy or girl growing up? Who was the person when you were out, on the blacktop, in the gym, wherever, you're saying, I'm trying to be this person? Who was that person?
Well, I think Jordan across the board in the 90s was on everyone's wall. I mean, I still have the poster that I had in high school in my weight room here at home. Like, he was the guy that everyone wanted to be like. And then, you had your home team guy. Like mine was like Ben Exel and Eddie Jones because I'm a Laker fan. But I think Jordan across the board, it didn't matter what team you went for, you were a Jordan fan.
So as you explain, and I think many people, Diana, feel the same way, that you had this idea of who he was, but now getting these glimpses behind the scenes as a competitor who has done so many of the same things he has, what resonates with you? What do you just nod your head and go, yeah, I know that, I feel that?
Well, when you put yourself into that situation and you give everything you have, people just think it's when you walk into the gym and then you leave. He's the type of person that carried it with him everywhere. I mean, everywhere he went, you felt that competitive spirit. When he's on the plane, and those things to me resonate. When I'm in a season, I give everything I have. It consumes my whole life.
Gino Auriemma and Sue Bird, obviously your coach and teammate at UConn, they were talking about how they felt that your mindset was similar. And when you hear him talk about that singular focus and what is required and that winning has a price, et cetera, is that something that you feel reflects who you have been as a competitor?
Oh, yeah. And now that I can reflect a little bit, being a little bit older and being far into my career, I always said, there's going to be another Jordan, there's going to be another me, but you got to give up your life. And watching this, he gave up his life to be the best basketball player in the world. And that's what you have to do. In any profession, if you want to be the best, you have to give up your life. And it's not easy.
Was it worth it for you?
Oh, absolutely. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. And there's a lot of things I didn't get to do, like my senior prom. Oh, well.
It works out okay in the end. Now, you told a great story with, I think it was on Instagram Live with Sue Bird about Jordan and back in the day, what was it, Santa Barbara and a free throw. Mm-hmm. And just this speaks to how Jordan is wired. I wonder if you could sort of share a version of what happened with you and him.
Yeah, so he has a camp every year in Santa Barbara. I don't know if he still has it. It's a fantasy camp for kids. And at the time I was a senior in high school. And at the end of camp, you play this little game of horse. You go around, everyone's played horse, and then you make a free throw. And, if you knock in the free throw at the end, you get a free pair of Jordans, which, at the time, 20 years ago, a pair of shoes was, the be all. Now they just pass them out in the mail. Like, everyone gets a pair. So, I get up there and I missed the free throw. And I'm just thinking, all right, he's going to give me the pair of shoes probably later in the back or something. And no, he was cold blooded. He was like, you missed the free throw and you can't have the shoes. I came back a year later as a counselor when I was at UConn. And the first thing he tells me, he goes, hey, D, how those free throws going? And I'm just like, this guy won't let it go. He won't let it go. I mean, I'm 18 years old, and he's getting on me. I loved it.
So now let me ask you. So now as the older sage vet that you are, mm-hmm. Would you do that to somebody? There's a youngster that's going to UConn next year. She's supposed to be something. So if she missed the free throw, would you ride her the same way?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think tough love still goes a long way, even though we're in this, era of being really nice to everyone and everything. I think tough love really hardens you. And, he did that with his teammates, which was actually really nice to see.
You can relate to that too, right?
No, absolutely. It's, when you go through these long seasons and, you're with each other all the time, the people you hate the most sometimes are your teammates. Those are the people you want to punch in the face mostly. And then you get to take it out on the opponent.
Right. Just as a final thought, D, just big picture. As you watch this, a guy whose poster was on the wall, a guy who you know, was there something that you took from this that you did not know that you could, I don't know, use going forward, something like that, if that makes sense?
You know, there's nothing new under the sun. You know, it's all about hard work, how much you put into it. And, you know, and he did that every single day. And it showed even when he played baseball, he was probably the worst dude out there, and he was in the batting cage, you know, 6-7 hours a day. You know, if you really want to do something, you have to put everything into it. And I mean, the guy smokes a mean stogie too.
He does that. He does that. But listen,
man.
In the end, you take inventory. You didn't go to your prom, but you're on a list with Jordan, one of two. That ain't bad. It's been too long, Diana. It's great to talk to you. You stay well, all right?
Thank you. Go Huskies.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.